Just 5 games remain in the WNBA season, and the Fever are in the midst of an extremely tight playoff chase. Shenise Johnson and Marissa Coleman will join the show to discuss Indiana's mindset. And are those standings something the players are looking at? Johnson and Coleman answer, and the Fever get one step closer to clinching a playoff berth with a win at home on Friday over Chicago. Get the players' take on keys to victory. All that and more is coming up right now.
Well, Stephanie White said on Tuesday night it wasn't a pretty win, but it was in that a win and an important win against San Antonio. Welcome into the Fever Film Room. I'm Pat Boylan, Marissa Coleman, Shenise Johnson with us. An important win for you guys on Tuesday just because the amount of games are dwindling down. You're fighting for playoff position. Stephanie White said maybe not the prettiest of win, but important, Marissa, to win a game in that style, you think, this late in the season?
Definitely. At this point, fighting for playoff position, you'll take any win. Pretty, beautiful win, anything at this point, just to add some wins to the W column.
I think both of your nights kind of exemplified that because both of you, I'm sure, would have liked to shoot maybe a little bit better, but you found other ways to affect the game, rebounds, steals. Both of you got to the foul line well. What was, I guess, both of your mindsets as that game went along and it was close and kind of that defensive style of game, ways that you two could affect it?
Like you said, I think both of us, as our careers have progressed, coaches have always told you if you're not shooting well, get to the free throw line to kind of get into a rhythm. And defense is something that, Steph always talks about and we try to pride ourselves on. So the fact that we weren't shooting well, we knew we had to take care of it on the defensive end.
And you guys combined, I think, for 12 free throws in that game between you, made them all. Why were you both, specifically you, Shenise, able to get to the line so well, you think?
I think, just having an aggressive mentality. You're not shooting the ball well, so you're probably going to put it on the deck a little bit more. But, we want to play out of our defense, and we want to play in transition, and it puts people under their heels. You
mentioned the defense. You held San Antonio to 13 points in that fourth quarter. Is that maybe the biggest, most significant takeaway that game for you?
I think so. I didn't even know that, but just like you said, it's something we were talking about in timeouts that we weren't shooting well, so we had to get stops. We couldn't not score on the offense end and then give up buckets. So we talked about it every time out just to get stops and play team defense.
You guys got a lot of steals. What did you like the most, I guess, about that defensive effort? Obviously, when you hold a team under 70, you have to like that number.
Yeah, of course.
What did you like specifically about the defensive end on what you guys did well?
I thought that we didn't allow our lack of offense to dictate our defense. I thought we still had an aggressive mentality. I thought we did a great job on Mariah Jefferson in executing our defensive schemes.
When you look at the standings, it's still very tight, and here's a look at them. 4 through 8 is within a game ahead of you or behind you. Is that anything you as the players are talking about? Do you leave that to the coaches? Are you discussing as the season winds down here? Start with you.
I don't think it's something we talk about. It's definitely in the back of our minds. I looked yesterday and saw that there's still a chance for us to get that fourth spot. So it's in the back of our minds, but if we take care of what we need to take care of, execute our game plans, then the rest will take care of itself.
She's talking about that fourth spot, which of course gets the bye with the new playoff seeding. Is that something in the back of your head, or do you have to be a little more narrow focused than that?
No, I think we're taking it one game at a time, but I think everybody's noticing, like all the teams throughout the league, that this is crunch time. And of course, you want to be playing well going into it.
You guys were playing well down the stretch last season. It led into that strong playoff run. Can you take away from that? I know both of you were here. Both of you were major contributors to what last year's late run was.
I think you can. It's a different team, but we have our core still together. So I think it's something that we can draw confidence from.
Can last year carry over?
Yeah, I haven't been in that position often. Marissa has been, championship caliber team with the Maryland Terps. But I think when you get on into a stretch like this, that the games before they really don't matter. I think all you really focus on is these last 10 games, and this is pretty much your season.
And it's 5 games now left in that stretch of 10, which means for Tamika Catchings, it's starting to become a reality. Do you sense that? We'll start with you, Shenise. Do you sense that she's noticing this is, she's guaranteed at least only 5 more games? Do you think that's hit her?
Yeah, I think she's ready. I think she's right where she's supposed to be. I don't think she's thinking about this is it. I just think she knows, like, okay, my career is coming to an end. I think she's doing a great job of staying in the moment.
Have you noticed, Marissa, any difference in a way that she has led, anything that she has done as her time is really starting to get to that finite number?
Definitely. I think the main thing is just her trying to pass the torch on to the ones that are still going to be here, and she took kind of a backseat in the leadership role and kind of pushed some other people into that, knowing that she wasn't going to be here. But of course, she's still our leader. And it's going to be sad to see her go, but we're going to try to stretch the season out as long as we can for her.
You've got Chicago coming up next. This is an important one. They're a game ahead of you in the standings. It's a tiebreaker game. It's here at Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Friday night at 7. All those things considered, is it fair enough to say that this is maybe the biggest game you guys have played so far? I'll start with you, Shenise.
I would say that this is a very important game. I think we want to, play well at home, and at the same time, as you say, get the tiebreaker against Chicago.
Chicago, a team that you guys are pretty familiar with. What are your thoughts as you head into that game?
Bree and I actually talking about it yesterday. It's weird that we're playing, it feels like we haven't played them at all this year, because last year we played them so many times.
4 times.
The year before we played them a lot too, so it's weird that we haven't seen them. But it's going to be, like you said, an important game, an exciting game. I'm sure they're going to be hungry coming off that blowout loss last night. So we just have to be focused and prepared.
When you talk about Chicago, you're always talking about Deladon. But you guys have some pretty good history in at least slowing her, especially in that playoff run last year. What were you guys able to do in those games, if you can remember back to specifics, that you liked, that you were able to at least keep her from dominating?
Yeah, I think we did a great job of, giving her different, the defenders. I think Elena Larkin starts out on her. She's very physical with her, long, athletic, and then, sometimes catch might get on her, I might get on her. So just keeping her on her toes and not allowing her to read our team defense.
You guys have talked about how you must focus on one game at a time, so this is a little bit of an unfair question, but I at least want to look ahead as you guys have a final road trip of the year. You have a couple games coming up, Washington and Connecticut. There's a lot of storylines with those games too. They got the better of you the last couple times you guys have played, and those are teams trying to catch you. What's the mindset need to be? We'll start with you, Marissa. Once you guys get to that point, the final road trip of the year.
We just have to be focused. I think the last time we played Washington, obviously we weren't happy with the result, and we didn't play as well that fourth quarter. So we just have to be able to put together a complete 40-minute game, be focused, execute the game plan, and I think we'll have a good chance to be successful.
And in those games, there's a potential that one of them could be a potential for you guys to clinch a playoff berth, depending on how things go. I know it's tough to look that far ahead now, but what are your first thoughts in that direction once you will head on the road, Shenise?
I think the focus is on us. I don't think it's really on who we're playing. I think that when we're playing at our best and we're playing Indiana Fever defense and offense, that pretty much nobody can stop us. So I think we focus on us. We focus on executing, and I think we'll be fine, as Marissa said.
Their focus, though, of course, is on Chicago. That's 7 o'clock, Bankers Life Fieldhouse on Friday. How about one key from each of you for that game to get a Fever win?
Attack the basket.
I think just being focused. I think when we play focused, play together, it's hard to beat us.
FeverBasketball.com is how you can get tickets. If you're watching on the website, just click the tickets tab above us. And the box office right behind us, you can come here and purchase in person. Just 3 home games left. You're going to make sure to check out the Fever before that playoff run happens. The last few regular season games coming up. But Shenise Johnson, Marissa Coleman, appreciate your time here on the Fever Flow.
Thank you.
All right, see you next week.